The Kraken was never really released, if it ever existed. But if it did, it's dead now, because some of the independent legal challenges to the election, those that are not like formally a part of Donald Trump's legal team, people like Sidney Powell who worked with him, but then they said that they didn't. It's weird. She has lost her final lawsuit, I think. This is Sidney Powell, and last night, a judge in Wisconsin dismissed her fourth and final lawsuit. Because in addition to the more than 50 lawsuits that the Trump legal team has been involved in, this like independent lawyer who has nothing to do with anything has waged multiple legal battles across the country. But that might be done. The judge had this to say: federal judges do not appoint the president in this country. One wonders why the plaintiffs came to federal court and asked a federal judge to do so. After a week of sometimes odd and often harried litigation, the court is no closer to answering the why. But this federal court has no authority or jurisdiction to grant the relief the remaining plaintiffs seek. So we're gonna give you a little bit more information in a couple of minutes about some of the issues with that lawsuit. But Sabrina, I don't know how much you've been following Sidney Powell, but like you do political work, but as somewhat of an outsider to this, what do you make of the fact that we're like in week 6 of these challenges, none of which seem to have any merit?
Well, I mean, you can file a lawsuit for pretty much anything, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna make it. I'm kind of surprised you said it was the 4th time.
Just for her, this is the 4th lawsuit that's been thrown out.
How many have been total, you know?
With I think Donald Trump, and Giuliani, I think they won one, and I stopped counting after 50 losses, but it's over 50 losses.
I don't understand, like 50 to 1. What do they think is gonna happen come January? Honestly.
Well, that's a great question. But I think there's a couple of potential answers. There's what do they want you to believe they think will happen, which is, if you're a Trump fan, it's that they'll win. They're trying to assure their followers that this thing's gonna result in a win. Whether that is actually what they expect or even care about is a different question, because while all of this is going on, they are raising an ungodly sum of money, far more, like 2 weeks ago, it was $200 million that they've raised supposedly for recounts and all of that. So win or lose, this is like a big money maker for them.
Oh, so why not? I get at this point. Fire up the next one.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and that's why, like, all the articles talking about Sidney Powell, they're like, this is the final lawsuit, and it's the final one that's pending, but this is going really well for her in terms of her social media following is blowing up and all of that, so why would she stop? And she's not, along the way, she's not gonna let stupid things like the fact that she's barely more of a lawyer than either you or I are stop her. So this is information that the judge focused on in the more than 40-page ruling. So just like your colleagues in, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I've seen Legally Blonde. I know a thing or two about the courtroom. I'd say we're about equal.
I'm not sure that Sidney has actually seen that, but
then she's not a real attorney. Disbarred.
No, disbarred. So Judge Pepper faced a lawsuit that was littered with baseless allegations and conspiracy theories, as well as typos and factual inaccuracies, which she pointed out. In a footnote to the judgment, Pepper pointed out that Powell had sought 48 hours worth of surveillance footage from the TCF Center, which is in Michigan, not in Wisconsin, so it doesn't have anything to do with this Wisconsin lawsuit. She also pointed out that Powell misspelled the name of her lead plaintiff, not a good sign. And finally, the judge highlighted the fact that the plaintiff appeared to have made up a quote purporting to come from a decision made by Pepper's own colleague, Judge Stadmuller. The quote simply doesn't exist. But with all of that and it being thrown out, one might wonder, how is Sidney Powell doing with all of this? Well, apparently she's doing okay, because after this ruling, she tweeted this. And we're not gonna show you the full video that's attached to her tweet, but it is a video of Michael Flynn, recently pardoned by the president, engaged in a gun battle with George Soros for some reason. So I guess she can't lose. Like, even when she loses, she can't lose. It's a good gig.
Why is it always Soros that's like their #1 enemy whenever they make these really crappy kind of memes? It's always Soros. I don't know why.
I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, it's because he's the most widely known Jewish liberalish billionaire, and for them, that is enough. Just, reference the very rich Jewish individual and they will fill in the blanks for you. That's my honest read of it, honestly. It's just anti-Semitism.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool Mad Libs.
Anyway, exactly. Well, that, at least for now, is it for Sidney Powell. We'll have to see how she bounces back from this.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.